Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be talking about Mehira in AFK stages on the Pioneer server. So keep in mind this content is subject to change by the time it comes out on global. But currently how Mehira stands, I've gotten replays from the top two rankers in AFK stage pushing on the Pioneer server, and they're both high ranked, Apex 490 and 500. So definitely no joke. We're going to start with the Mehira replay, but before we get into that, I took some advice from the top rank in AFK stages, and he said Mehira is not being used that much in the high deficit, the highest of stages. And if we take a look at his most recent clear, which was just sent to me like literally 5 minutes ago, it is using kind of a strategy you've seen on global server, Valara, Brian, Saida, even Haywin for more protection for the team. But basically he told me that they're not seeing Mehira that much in the highest of deficit pushing, and actually not super meta for the pushing. Of course Saida still is extremely meta because that is the only way you're going to kill these high stages. So let's go ahead and look at the rank 2 in AFK stage pushing. He has also shared me a replay, and this was shared yesterday, and it was with Mehira. So this is still going to be a good showcase of Mehira's strength. The opponent is at level 1040 and we're at level 900, so there's still a high deficit here. It was still an Apex stage. So immediately alluring Mirage of Mehira is going to go off, bewitching the enemies for 2.5 seconds, and now you will just try to cycle the energy with Rowan and Mehira's charm from her ultimate, and hopefully that crowd control should be enough. But it's interesting because this team was a no Iron team. However, when you look at the crowd control potential, it is similar to an Iron Almas team. However, I still think Iron Almas has substantially more overall uptime of crowd control, because you're waiting for the ultimate of Mehira for her charm, and other than that, you're just waiting on her cooldown for Alluring Mirage, which is a 15-second cooldown, and it's only a 2.5-second bewitch. So you're seeing here, the good thing though about Mehira is at her exclusive skill, her familiars are going to take that damage very well for her and give her good survival. You're seeing it, at least in AFK stages, the survival is really good of Mehira, and then you're just buying time for Saida to get off her 3 ultimates, and then she's just gonna solo the team from here on out. However, the problem you're noticing is these are the earlier stages where you don't need Valara on the team. The problem is if you also, for the high deficit pushing stages of AFK, you cannot just do it with Saida ultimate alone. You also need Valara stat seal and then both of them to be in effect for you to actually defeat the enemies. So when that is needed, the thing is Mehira doesn't have maybe the amount of crowd control needed to lock down enemies to keep your Valara safe. And that could be one reason why Mehira is just not as good as like an Iron Almas combo that you're generally seeing in AFK stages. So that is the thing, because in AFK stages as well, for the highest deficit stages, you can't have any slacker on the team. So if you have a crowd control unit, basically it means it will have to take the place of another crowd control unit, which is Iron. But the question is Mehira overall crowd control uptime higher than Iron? I don't know. Like the bewitch at the beginning of the match is really kind of the interesting thing. But yeah, okay, so apparently this was a victory, but it's not registering as a victory here. Anyway, that's not really important. So that just shows you basically Mehira's potential. She has crowd control, but the question is it good enough crowd control? And when you're talking about the top rank of pusher right now, not using Mehira because she's not being used, as he's said, in the highest of stages, that is really concerning, honestly, because one of the major roles for Mehira would have been AFK stages, but it seems like other than very exceptional circumstances and stages, you're just better off having another sort of team. So that is basically the thing about Mehira. So overall, I think a lot of people in the community are thinking that Mehira needs some buffs or changes, because currently how she stands, she's kind of she really has been made to kind of be a jack of all trades, but she's definitely a master of none, and actually maybe not even above, not even a top tier at any, basically, because AFK stages, I mean, her crowd control is a bit lacking in duration, even with her ultimate 3-second charm and then her Luring Mirage 2.5-second bewitch. It isn't enough at these cooldowns that she has. I know that is a very sensitive matter, because if you increase this to 5-second charm, 4-second bewitch, that will be way too overpowered. So there's a kind of a fine balance which is needed to make it balanced, but also strong enough to be meta. But currently it doesn't feel like the balance is there, and it's just you're better off running previous season heroes without Mehira on your AFK stage pushing teams, because she's not doing anything differently than the other heroes we have. So it's just really, even for AFK stages, looking like a niche unit rather than an absolutely oppressive AFK stage unit. So that is the thing. So, and we've seen for Dream Realm, she is not working in Dream Realm. Her damage, even though she did get buffed, so this is something compared to the video I uploaded yesterday, she got a minor buff to her damage on her whip, but it still is not enough. Even at maximum, all of her skill power, this is now going to be a 210% multiplier HP loss damage on a 10-second cooldown. Ludovic is dealing 380% basically effective HP loss damage on an 8-second cooldown. So like even Ludovic is almost doubling Mehira's damage even after her buff. And so like Mehira is still not in a good shape for Dream Realm, and like this haste buff that she provides to allies, we don't know exactly how it's working, but it hasn't been anything game changing for the Dream Realm testing so far. But of course, I think we have Blightshroom left to see. Blightshroom is the one I'm most interested in for Mehira because twins cannot be used there. So then an alternate haste buffer like Mehira should have value there. But anyway, that's yet to be determined. And then for PvP, so for PvP, she is good and interesting. Hopefully this skill is now working properly where it is actually going to be able to give her a great survivability. But the thing is, if she's the only one alive on your team and the whole team is dead, she's not going to win your team the match. She does have the Bewitch at this 2.5 second, and this is the most unique skill in her whole kit. The fact that it is a non-ultimate based immediate from the beginning of the match, Alluring Mirage. But the thing is, unaffected is going to counter it, and of course many people we have unaffected from artifacts, we have unaffected heroes. Of course you can run Siren and Mehira together to like block out the artifact at the beginning, and then there's definitely good options for PvP, but she isn't really necessarily like game breaking in PvP, which maybe is a good thing. Like honestly, you don't want each hero that comes out to actually be changing the entire meta and landscape of PvP. But she just overall is just kind of like probably above average hero in multiple game modes, but not really the top slot on your team for any one game mode. For PvP, definitely if you invest into her, you would probably find a team to work well with her in PvP. But for AFK stages, it just seems like Iron Almas combo is actually better. And then for the Dream Realm, of course, there are better HP loss damage dealers and better heroes to put on the team. So anyway, that is the update about Mehira. Let me know your thoughts about Mehira in the comment section down below. What do you think needs to happen in order for Mehira to be in a good place? Or do you think it's already balanced enough? Because honestly, we can't have every Celestial Hypogean being released being like a game-changing hero and like really important to have on your account, because then no one can keep up with it. So actually, having heroes like this, which are not necessarily game breaking and you can go do without, it is also, in a way, it is a good thing. And honestly, if you're only using her for some niche stages where she needs that immediate, like the initial 2.5 second charm, that is gonna work at one copy. So like, really, I think for in a current state, it's actually good news for free-to-play players who do not have resources, but it's bad news if you wanted to invest into her and have her be some game-changing for your account, because that is not the case of her right now. So anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Of course, this is all subject to change by the time it comes out on the global server, and we have to wait for that for the official release. But for right now, that is how it stands. So thanks for watching. If you guys are not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, please join that. There's a link to that in the description of this video. Also, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. There is a link to that in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.